Oh, see the light above my head? It's my halo. But seriously, we've got a problem down here that really surprised me, and you want to go and check this out, because if you don't, you could end up having a shocking surprise when you're on the road. So let's go and have a look at it. Even though the tyres can look okay on the outside, you can have beautifully manicured tyres with plenty of tread on them and rims that look good. Everything may not be as it seems. One of the things that we've found over the years with tyres is that there's several things you've got to look out for. We've found problems with the caravan as well as the camper van when it came to tyres. The caravan, when we went to put these flappers on our tyres, we took the flappers and the tyres down to a tyre shop, and even though the tyres were perfectly fine to me, they appeared to have no problems, plenty of tread on them. So I took the flappers down and the tyres, and they advised me they could not put the flappers on the tyres. Now, part of the reason for this is they told me that the tyres had expired. Now the thing with tyres on caravans is that they tend to stay on caravans for a very long time and also sitting in one spot all the time. The end result of this is that even though you've got good tread, the walls become very, very weak. And that's something that he showed us, is that the walls on the tyres were very, very weak. Now, if we were to continue running with those tyres, we could have had a blowout at any time. So don't take any notice of the fact that you've got good tread on your tyres. The whole tyre needs to be looked at. So also we had another problem where even though we loaded the caravan the same way every time, every now and again it would sway and other times it wouldn't. And that was due to the fact that it had weak walls and air was being leaked out of one time more than the other. So it would do it more at different times, different intervals. So basically, rule of thumb is with your tyres, several things you can do. One is if they're fairly new tyres, don't have them sitting on the ground like this all the time in one spot. Try and keep them up off the ground and rotate them. And that stops them from having a flat spot on your tyre, which will then weaken the walls. Same goes for your camper van. This is the same principle for your camper van. Now, that's for the tyres. And the interesting thing is that he could tell that the tyres have expired by age. So it's very good always to go down and check with your local tyre place. Before summer, before you even hit the road, get these checked and make sure they're okay. Because if something goes wrong here, you're going to have big problems. Now, the next area, we're just dealing with the wheels at this stage, the steel rims. Now, on this looks perfectly good. It's nicely painted, it looks very, very nice. So you think, okay, that's fine, I'm quite happy with that. However, when I was working on the camper, and I took the spare wheel and that off, and I took some of these steel rims off, I discovered something from inside. Once again, the outside looks perfectly good. It's not until you actually take these steel rims off completely and have a look on the inside. It had rust. And if that wasn't treated or taken care of, then those steel rims can give way. And you'll have quite a nasty fright when that happens. So always, to do these properly, take the wheel off completely, have a look on the inside and check for any wear and tear in the rim, and also check the walls of your tyre. So that was something interesting. I just thought I'd share with you because these, now that we've been down in lockdown for quite a while and over winter, a lot of people's caravans would have been sitting in one spot. So just my advice would be to take these completely off and check them all and make sure that they're fine. Maybe treat the inside of your steel rim with a little bit of rust converter and give it a nice paint, nice tidy up inside, and then put them back. Once you put them back, and while you're tending to the wheels, check your springs, make sure they're okay, not sagging too much. And while the wheel is up off the ground, you're taking your tyre off, put the wheel back on and then spin it and listen to your bearings and make sure there's no funny noises and sounds going on there, and give the tyre a wiggle top and bottom and side to side and spin it. So what you're looking for is play when you're doing side to side, top to bottom, and when you're spinning you're listening for the sound in the bearings. Sometimes it may be just a case that they need a bit more grease and that noise goes away. But always check your play when you're doing that, because if the bearings have gone, you're still going to get that play. So there's something I thought I'd share with you regarding the wheels. And as I said, we came across this when I was doing up the camper van, and because the same thing applies to a caravan, especially caravans that are left outside or if they're sitting in one spot for a long time. Today I'm going to show you the process that I use to take the wheel off. So we're going to start with this one and see how we go. So the very first thing I do is make sure the caravan stays down and chock those wheels to make sure that everything is safe before I take the hubcap off. And always put your jack right next to the wheel on the axle. It's the strongest point. Rightio. First, off with the hubcap. I don't know if this shows up that well because it's a bit dark, but I'll move the camera up a bit closer. I think might be best. Now, we have the top nut up here, bottom one down here, one each side. Now, a couple of things I do. When I ever do up a wheel, I always do the opposing nuts, never actually do them across like that. Because if you do them across like that, when you're undoing them or tightening them, that's when you get cracking on the steel rims, because one side ends up being lighter than the other. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, first I'm going to undo it. So get the right, that's it. Now, if you go to undo your nut and you find it's quite hard to undo, in this case it's not too bad, but basically if you can't undo it, just give it a little yank the other way, because it could break a seal. That is, over a period of time these nuts can seal onto the rims. So as I say, do the opposing ones. That's the top one, and now I'm doing the opposing bottom one, and you just give it a fraction of a turn, fraction there. Now this one's quite tight, so I turn it that way and back again, and as you can see it becomes quite easy. So that's how I undo my wheel nuts, and that's how I put them back on. So always opposing, never next to each other. Right. Now if you look closely below the red dot, you'll see a fine little line. That's actually a start of a crack. And you see here, that's what happens when it grows. Your wheel fails after hitting bumps and goodness knows what else through towing. Now one of the things you do is you spin your wheel listen for any noises, and it's dead quiet, which I'm pleased about. Dead quiet, that's good. Now, tilt your wheel back and forwards, top to bottom, see if there's any play, and side to side. Now that is rock hard. So that's good. Nothing wrong with that wheel. Just make sure those nuts are tightened up. That's good. I'll just get that one. Yeah, that's good. Right. That's it. All done. So, anyway, check that out, and we'll probably do another video on the various other things that we check on the caravan before we actually go away in summer, to make sure that we're not going to have any sudden surprises when we're towing. So, I hope that's been helpful for you, and it's just a suggestion only, and wish you happy adventures, and we'll catch you back here next week. Bye.